Back in the 1950s, the government set out to build 300,000 new homes a year to meet post-war demand. 6 decades on, though there are 15 million more of us living in the UK, we're building less than half that number of houses each year. That's left 1.4 million people stuck on housing waiting lists, and millions more with no hope of owning their own home. But a small team here in Wales have been pioneering a project that they hope will help change the way we think about housing forever. Last summer, Countryfile visited the T-Solar housing project in the village of Glanrhyd in Pembrokeshire. At that point, the developers were midway through a project to build 6 solar houses. 9 months on, and the homes are almost finished, and the first tenants are moving in. I want to see for myself what makes this project so unique. Oh, well, the doorbell works. The development is the brainchild of Glenn Peters.
Great to see you.
So, Glenn, what gave you the idea? Because it's not a small one, is it?
Well, I read this energy report about energy poverty, actually, in housing, and discovered that 40% of people in social housing were having to make a choice between food on the table and energy. And I thought, this is crazy.
So how did you go about coming up with a solution?
Well, we were producing tons of energy in our solar farm, and we thought, well, surely it shouldn't be difficult to produce lots of energy. And then 2 guys came to talk to me, an architect and a carpenter, and we got together, almost like a creative hothouse, and said, let's create a prototype.
The houses are largely heated by something called passive solar. It means that the big south-facing windows trap the heat of the sun, a bit like a greenhouse. Most of the rest of the energy comes from solar panels on the roof. And properties are insulated with 11-inch thick walls. They're made in a factory just a few minutes away.
This is a cross-section of one of the walls.
Tell you what, it's really solid, isn't it?
And it's all locally sourced, within 25 miles of here. So here we have larch.
Yeah.
That's come from the Gwaun Valley. This larch was being burnt in power stations to make energy for inefficient houses.
Yeah.
And now we're using that larch to actually make highly efficient houses.
And this is your insulation. What is that made of?
It's probably the newspapers that you've been reading all of 2016. This is recycled newsprint. We looked at sheep's wool, we looked at glass insulation, and this was the best thing we actually could come up with. So what that actually happens is you've got this solid mass of paper there, which actually provides for something called thermal mass. So as the house warms up, it actually retains heat. This has been actually treated with caustic soda, so it's completely fire retardant. And we're trying to show that there is an alternative way rather than bricks and mortar.
These efficient homes use just 12% of the energy of a conventional house, and most of it is generated within the property. So to get a picture of day-to-day life in an eco-house, I'm meeting one of the new residents, Tessa Hope.
The idea of living more or less bill-free has got to be attractive, surely.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we haven't had a bill as yet. There aren't any times that we can't turn on the appliances, apart from the nights. And for me, personally, I really like the fact that we've got the solar panels and we're connected to the elements. We know if there's a run of cloudy days, then we can tell because the temperature in our water dips. So we're very happy when it's sunny and we can have hot showers all week.
But it doesn't stop you having hot showers. You just have to pay for them, you know, with a little bit of a top-up.
Yeah, and that bit extra doesn't seem to be very much. Last month we turned on the hot water twice, and I've been assured by the builders that cost us a grand total of 45p. So,
45p?
Yeah, so not breaking the bank.
You're not breaking the bank. And if you weren't renting, would you buy this?
Potentially. I mean, I'd like to see what it's going to be like when it turns into a bit more of a community, so we'll see.
There's no getting away from the fact that we have a real crisis when it comes to genuinely affordable rural housing. Can wooden homes powered by solar panels cure it? Well, probably not. But it would be nice to think that they are at least part of the solution.